For 2 hours the protest was trouble-free, then this, an attack on a branch of the Royal Bank of Scotland next door to the Bank of England. No violence was the cry of one protester, but his was a lone voice. To chants of burn the bank and rob the bank, more window smashers lined up to have a go. Some wore hoodies, their faces masked. Others were more brazen, clearly identifiable.
You're giving us all a bad name. You give us all a bad name, man.
This branch of RBS had been closed as a precaution, but hadn't been boarded up. For those intent on violence, it was too tempting a target, a soft target, an obvious target. 50 metres away, a line of riot police watched, but made no attempt to stop the vandalism. To a chorus of scum, 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 police officers appeared inside the building, videoing the troublemakers through the windows. Someone tried to set the blinds alight. Perhaps that's why one policeman set off a fire extinguisher, or was he using it in self-defence?
More than half an hour after these windows were smashed, the police are now finally beginning to clear the street outside the Royal Bank of Scotland. Officers in riot gear, some of them on horses, are slowly herding the crowd back up Bartholomew Lane towards Threadneedle Street.
The police had clearly decided enough was enough. In a matter of minutes, the crowd was pushed back towards the front of the Bank of England and away from the debris of the RBS. The day had started noisily but without violence when marches set off from 4 London stations towards Threadneedle Street. The protesters were marshalled between lines of police officers, not allowed to stray from the agreed route. It made them annoyed. In front of the Bank of England, they met up and stopped. There was music from Billy Bragg, not easy to hear. Speeches from the protest organisers, practically impossible to hear. But for most of the time, the protesters seemed unsure of what was meant to happen next.
This is where the protest organisers wanted to be, and it's where the police want them to be, because while they're penned in here, they're not going anywhere else.
There were some scuffles, minor confrontations between police and demonstrators. Watch the man in the white shirt. He appears to taunt the police. They didn't rise to the bait. Some protesters complained of police brutality, but fears of a serious outbreak of civil disobedience were unfounded. The police tactic was to keep the demonstrators trapped in one place until they ran out of steam. Yes, there were some shattered windows at one building, but that was as bad as it got. Simon Harris, London Tonight in the City.